Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to get you styled up with Stitch Fix. Shopping's hard. It's hard. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist, though, who understands your style, your size, your budget, and they do all the shopping for you.
Wow.
This is excellent. Shopping, I'm telling you, shopping and figure out your style, it's overwhelming. Let somebody help you when it comes to getting dressed. We don't know what we're doing, so we let Stitch Fix help us out. A Stitch Fix stylist there. They know what works on us. We get the prices that make us look really good, and it feels good. You get some confidence boost walking around knowing that you're looking decent here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just give the stylist our sizes, style, budget preferences. We order boxes when we want, how we want, no subscription or any of that required. And they send called Just For Me pieces as well. Like, maybe you'd like this, and it's awesome. Outfit recommendations, styling tips. You keep what you love, you send back the rest. It's super easy.
Yep.
You can do it, and we are doing it because it's excellent. Personal styling for everyone. Get started today at stitchfix.com/STM. That's stitchfix.com/STM.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about Rocket Money. It's the start of a new year. It's the perfect time to get organized, set your goals, prioritize what matters most. And for me, top priority is getting myself together here. Financial wellness, doing that, which that feels important, you know? Just feels like adult stuff that you have to do. And thanks to Rocket Money, my goals feel achievable now. They show me all my subscriptions in one place, help me easily cancel ones I forgot that I've been paying for, which happened to me. Absolutely happened to me. I had, for years, I was paying for something. I was like, what is going on here? Rocket Money found it and saved me lots of money since then, because it's been a while. So they did a great job here. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder today. That's rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder. rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hi, I'm Ashley Flowers, and if you're like me and grew up watching America's Most Wanted and reading Nancy Drew, then hi, you're a crime junkie. And I bet that passion for solving mysteries never went away, which is why we've assembled a team of reporters to dig deep into all the cases we still obsess over. Each Monday, my best friend Britt and I will bring you a case that you won't be able to stop thinking and talking about. So join us by listening to Crime Junkie wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder Express.
Yay! Choo-choo!
Yay indeed, Jimmy, yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us. All aboard the murder train. Climb on, and we have a really weird story for you today.
Right.
As usual, some things that fall into place in this story where you're like, this isn't, how is this real? This can't be real. And it is,
Right.
and it's amazing. We will get to it quickly, though, before we get started. ShutUpAndGiveMeMurder.com.
Oh, yeah.
Get your tickets for live shows for the rest of the year. A lot of them are sold out. More than half of the remaining shows are sold out. Next show that has tickets remaining, August 12th, Chicago. Come strong, Chicago. Come see us there. And then also Dallas, Atlanta, Philly, Charlotte, and D.C. are still available.
DC,
The rest are all sold out. So thank you. Get in there. ShutUpAndGiveMeMurder.com. You definitely want to head over to Patreon.com/crime and sports. Get all your bonus material. Anybody $5 or above, you get access to the entire back catalog of bonus stuff. Hundreds of episodes there. So many. And then every other week you get 2 new ones. This week is no different. This week, what you're going to get for crime and sports, which you get access to, nothing to do with sports, nothing to do with anything except it's hilarious. We're going to talk about Stairway to Stardom.
Oh, yeah.
Which was a public access show on in New York from the late 70s to the early 90s. That was kind of like a Star Search type of show, like an amateur talent show.
Yeah.
ish, and we're going to play clips from it. And when we watched it, I've never seen Jimmie laugh as hard in his life, so it's going to be amazing. Maybe we'll give Jimmie a stroke. We'll see. I can't wait to talk about that. That's going to be amazing. And then for Small Town Murder, oh, it's back, everybody. It's that time again.
Yes.
The prisoner dating game is here.
Hey.
Oh, baby, the violent felon edition, where I choose 4 young men and 4 young ladies who have one thing in common, and they are currently incarcerated for violent felonies. And Jimmie's going to pick one of them, one of each, based on just their profile and what they put on their dating profile from prison. So just their words, and then afterwards, once he picks them, we'll find out what terrible things they did and who they are and what kind of bad decision Jimmie made. It's so much fun. We cannot wait. Patreon.com/crime and sports. Get in there right now and do that. And keep an eye out in the next couple weeks for Your Stupid Opinions, our new show about all things reviews of everything. We'll make fun of it. So much fun. Can't wait for that. But now, right this minute, I think it's time, everybody, we sit back. Let's clear the lungs, everybody. What do you say? It's time to get into this wild story because there's a lot of it. Let's all sit back and let's all shout, Shut up and give me murder. Let's do this, Jimmie.
Okay.
Let's go on a trip, shall we? We are going all the way to New Jersey. Oh, baby. Here we go. So not far from whence we sit at the moment. So it is about an hour to New York City. Ramsey, New Jersey here. About 35 minutes to Denville, New Jersey, which was our last Jersey episode, which was Never Gonna Pig You Up. And we remember that one because that was the pig mask and all that. That was a pretty memorable episode. And population here about 14,801.
Okay.
So small, it's a little quiet, kind of small suburban town.
Sure.
A lot of nice houses there. Median income here, $122,165.
Doing great.
Median household income. So very high. Median home price, you need that money because median home price here, $623,800.
Holy shit.
Yeah, anything within that hour from New York City bubble is very expensive because you can work in New York City and live there, and it just spreads the costliness here. Quick history of this town here. The most noteworthy local historical site is the Old Stone House, which is old and stone.
What'd it do?
And they built it from stone and hog's hair.
Gross.
I didn't know you took hog's hair and made it a stinky, gross, disgusting part of your building, but apparently you did.
Yeah, I assume they used the hog's hair in the mortar or something.
I don't know. I got to go check my house for hog's hair now because it's old, so I have no idea.
Strong hair.
No clue. It became a tavern during the Revolutionary War, though. Legend has it that Aaron Burr came here.
Oh.
And drank here.
Murdering some bitch, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, he came and drank, and then it opened up in 1960 as a historic site. The place was named after Peter J. Ramsey, who was a 1800s landowner who sold the land that became the site of the railroad station that the town grew around. So there you go. Reviews of this town very quickly here. People like it here, I guess. They seem to like it. Here's 5 stars. Okay, athletics has also provided me with a supportive social network. They acted like we were in the middle of a conversation. Also, what are you talking about?
5 stars. Also, there's this.
What is that? That's the craziest sentence ever. Imagine talking to that person, looking
5
around
stars.
like,
we're rich.
yeah. Did I have a stroke and miss half this conversation? What happened? How do we start here? The people I have met through athletics have become some of my closest friends and mentors. As part of a team, I've learned the value of teamwork, leadership, and communication. I have also learned to develop trust and respect for my fellow athletes, coaches, and mentors.
What do they play?
Gotta do that. I don't know. These social skills have helped me to develop strong relationships with people from all backgrounds, which has given me a greater understanding and appreciation of the world around me. What does this have to do with the town?
Right.
Nothing.
This is an advertisement for city leagues.
That's just an advertisement for Play High School Sports. You'll feel better. 5 stars. I love the fact that Main Street has everything, with exclamation point, from different places to eat, clothing to even a psychic, exclamation point. Oh, wow. That's amazing. Everyone is so kind in this town, and I feel so welcomed here. Okay. All right. Here's 4 stars. The police seem to have nothing better to do, but usually are great to the community. All right.
Then what?
Then what? Yeah, if you don't have a lot of crime, I guess that's good. right? I don't know.
Nothing better to do than what?
Than what? So, I mean, also, you start you start a sentence with, and also this. We've never met you before. And then this person says nothing better to do, but doesn't give a then what they're doing. So this town is frustrating already.
It really is.
Here's 3 stars. People are nice around here. You will have certain people that aren't so much nice, though.
Yeah.
So some people are nice and some people aren't. Yeah, that's the world. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
That's being alive.
Wow. Things to do here.
Uh-huh.
Not much. Otherwise, you're an hour from New York City, so it's kind of like
everything to
it's
do.
all right there. Yeah, you can go anywhere. But the Don Bosco Food Truck and Music Festival is here.
Bosco Food Truck.
Don Bosco Food Truck. It takes place at Don Bosco High School.
Okay.
There you go. Most great festivals that you have a lot of fun at take place at a high school.
Yeah.
Jesus. Admission's $5. It's a benefit for the Don Bosco Fathers Club, whatever that is.
It's just a bunch of dads.
Just drinking. Want to go fishing later? I don't know. All right.
Just a bunch of dads in socks and flip-flops hanging
just hear
out.
those NASCARs on in the background. Like, what's going on? The guests are asked to bring their own lawn chairs to this family-friendly event. They have 17 gourmet food trucks, vendors, and live music. You can also expect a beer, margaritas, and sangria bar. And there's pony rides, a petting zoo, knocker ball. I don't know what that is. I don't know, but I'm curious. A bounce house, face painting, sand art, and more. Holy shit. And some of the food trucks that'll be here. Angry Archie's.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta have that. Gotta have Angry Archie's. Uncle Sal's Egg Rolls is my favorite one, though.
What?
Uncle Sal. Hey, you gonna make a batch of them famous egg rolls for Christmas Eve or what? Of course I am. What do I fucking look like over here? Of course I got egg rolls. They're gonna be fucking delicious. Crispy on the outside. I put fucking pork in them. You're gonna love them.
I'll bet they got like spaghetti. They're filled with spaghetti.
What is going on? Uncle Sal's egg rolls?
His egg rolls got rigatoni in them.
It's nice. This is a ziti egg roll I made. It's gonna be nice for you. It's a farfalle. And also. And I also love the, now this is a Zeppeli, which is a dessert thing, but the place is just called Johnny Zeppeli, which sounds like a guy. Hey, Johnny Zeppeli, nice to meet you. It's good. All right. Good to meet you, Johnny Zeppeli.
Just a guy that makes Zeppelis, we call him Johnny.
Yeah, it's Johnny Zeppeli. How you doing? I'm good. All right. And taxi cab burgers, which sounds like a guy with burgers out of his trunk. He makes a grill out of his cab trunk. It is $5 to get in, but kids under 5 are free.
Oh.
So, and free parking. So, holy shit, come on out here. That said, let's talk about a murder, shall we? Let's talk about, this is just weird stuff. Okay, let's start with some people to talk about. Let's start with a lady.
Oh.
Why don't we? Let's start with a lady named Stacy here. Stacy Ates is her, A-T-E-S is her maiden name. Stacy Ates. She'll become Stacy Walker, and then she'll have another last name that we'll talk about in a minute here. But Stacy was raised in a military family.
Yep.
Her dad's a Marine, as we'll find out here. She was born on a naval base near Huntsville, Alabama.
Okay.
So her father was a Marine at the time, and later on she'll be married to a guy named Tony Brooks, and we'll talk about that. But Stacy graduated from high school in Georgia, later lived in St. Louis. She moved to Illinois to be closer to her parents in the 1980s. She got a job with a pharmaceutical company there. Okay. Where she was working. While she was living in St. Louis, she married the Brooks guy, Tony Brooks. And they were married in Illinois. By 95, she got transferred by her company to Texas. So they moved down to Dallas to work for this company, to Arlington, actually, but by Dallas. And Brooks says, quote, everything should have been great in Texas.
But?
Well, there's a big, there's a huge hanging ellipses on that one, right?
What happened?
He said, we had a new house. She'd been promoted. I had a good job. This all sounds good.
Yeah, sounds great.
Oh, but you know what? First happy ending ever in Small Town Murder. You know what? Everything's great. They thought about being violent for a very brief amount of time, and then they just decided to watch TV and be fine.
Tired in Arlington, and now they're...
Everything's good. He's a scratch golfer. He's pretty good.
Yeah.
He's gotten really in his retirement. He's really been working on it.
Invested some of it in small ownership of the Cowboys.
Shockingly, though, he said, but one day when I returned from a golf outing in Memphis, she was gone and I never saw her again.
She just left?
She just left. Peace out.
This is too nice.
And, quote, I never saw her again. Didn't even didn't leave and go to a friend's house or move into her own apartment. She just bye and disappeared. So
I gotta go.
That seems like there's got to be a problem with that.
What the hell happened?
He said she also accused him of abuse after the separation as well.
Oh.
She accused him of abuse there.
But he says he didn't?
He says no, there was no abuse. Okay. Now, so then she meets in another pharmaceutical guy, a guy named Paul. There's no other way. Paul Dunksack is his name.
Is that right?
Duncsac.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Dunsick, but it's Dunksack.
No, that's Dunksack.
That's Dunksack.
That's
Dunksack. Paulie Dunksack over here.
Unbelievable.
That's quite the handle. He is born in 1966. Paul Dunksack, and
quite the family lineage.
Wow. The rich history of the Dunksacks, but no, I mean they have a nice family too. That's the thing. He comes from a good family. Mm-hmm. That's just I would assume they pronounce it Dunsack probably. They're probably
I know.
Yeah, I'm not Paulie Dunksack, but yeah,
because the alternative sucks.
Yeah, even if I'd pronounce it that way, no matter how it's supposed to be pronounced.
I'd probably go with a long U.
Yeah, it's Dunsick, actually. Oh, okay, sorry. But anyway, Paul is a successful guy, very smart guy. He's making a name for himself in the pharmaceutical industry at the time. He graduated at Rutgers University. Again, Rutgers comes up. Another
right?
It came up in Crime and Sports. We were talking about that. He had a Bachelor of Science degree from Rutgers University College of Pharmacy in 1989. Great. He attended Rutgers Graduate School of Management and the Long Island University of Pharmacy.
Very East Coast, huh?
Got a very Northeast education, yeah. It's the College of Pharmacy. It's a pharmacy college.
I'm a pharmacist.
So 1992, he founded the Hospice Provider Group, which is a Westfield-based buying group that helps hospices purchase products at reduced prices.
Awesome.
So, yeah, it's a pretty cool company. And from 95 to 2001, he works for the Mount Sinai Group School of Medicine, spending the last 3 years as Director of Corporate Learning. So,
wow.
Old Dunksack is a smart guy. He's got a
merciful too.
Oh, he's a nice guy, smart guy, knows how to make money, knows how to use his field of expertise to make money.
Sure.
Comes from a very nice family, of very nice people as well.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like Paul's in for a great life. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's going wonderful. He does marry Stacy in 1999, though.
Okay.
So he marries Stacy. He founded in 2001 a consulting firm. So he's founding businesses all over, and they're all successful too.
Right.
So he's making money. A firm called Vision Group Inc., which provided training for the pharmaceutical industry. Okay. It created product launch programs, training manuals, and medical education programs, generating revenues of $2.5 million a year.
Wow.
Yeah. So he's got a job. He's got like 3 companies.
Yeah. And he works in an industry where he sees a problem and he fixes it by creating another company that makes him more income. He's solving more problems than Vanilla Ice. This guy is incredible.
Well, Vanilla Ice will tell you he'll solve it, but he actually won't. Let's be honest.
Have his DJ revolving and
what's that going to help? That's what I mean. So your DJ's revolving it. I'm still trapped in a car that's on fire. Can you help? You said if you have a problem.
Tell him to stop revolving it.
I'm telling you a very specific problem, and you're telling me, well, my DJ's got this one. Well, you know what? He's busy revolving
the
it.
Hook.
Yeah, he's busy revolving it. He's not going to help. You're just dancing. You're clearly not going to help me. This sucks. You're a liar. So, Paul lectured in more than 10 states, I assume without any
Mm-hmm.
references to solving any problems or DJs revolving or anything like that.
He's just solving it and getting paid.
That's it. And he was an adjunct professor at the Arnold and Marie Schwartz College of Pharmacy.
I don't know what that means, but that is awesome.
It sounds awesome, though. Yeah. I mean, I think it's just a professor who doesn't work there every day.
Okay.
I think that's what it is, but I never went to college, so I have no fucking idea.
You're telling me he's a professor that gets paid and doesn't have to show up? What is he in the
I think he just comes in every once in a while and it's got a no-show job. It's got a no-show shore job. That's what they do down at the
No-show
docks.
professor job? This guy's better than the mom.
He's like Michael Madsen in Reservoir Dogs. He's just got out and they got a no-show job for him. So one of his friends here who worked with him said he's exceptionally bright. He's a super pharmacist with an expertise in virtually every area of pharmacy. Wow. He's doing great. So they end up having 2 children, Stacy and Paul.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah, so they have 2 children. We'll leave their names out of this. They have a boy who is born in 2000 and a girl who's born in 2001. So that's who they have here. They divorce in 2003, though.
Is that right?
Yeah, they get a divorce. It's not working. They do have a big, beautiful house.
I'll believe it.
It's a 3,500 square foot house on an acre of land here. They bought it in January of 2003 for $780,000 in 2003.
Holy fuck!
And when they got divorced, it was listed for $1.1 million.
Yeah.
So
3 years later, that's a $2 million house today at least.
It's by easy an hour from the city too. Forget about it. It's got an in-ground pool, a gazebo, for Christ's sake, private backyard that's nice. It's expensive.
It's a palace.
It's fucking expensive as shit now. So the problem is neighbors have been hearing a lot of arguments there up until they separate. They said they would hear fierce arguments going on in the house. The house, neighbors said when it was for sale nearly a year without any buyers.
Wow.
And at that point, they said the Dunksacks fell victim to a real estate broker named Susan Sylock, who ended up pleading guilty to robbing homes that were listed with her.
What?
She would rob them. She would steal shit from the homes that people were selling. She used her key to just go in and take shit. It's genius till they go, hey, there's shit missing. Who has a key to this place? Oh, us and that one lady? Okay, well, it's probably her. At that point, your genius scheme comes crumbling.
I mean, the ability is genius. Of course you're going to be able to. You've got access to all these people's shit.
Can't do it, actually.
Right.
Yeah.
The carrying it out is crazy.
Yeah. Somebody who knows them here said there were a lot of domestic violence and temporary restraining orders with this family. A lot of, they said.
Wow.
The Ramsey police chief, Brian Gurney, said, I've seen his name on police reports. Our police departments have been here in the past on investigations of domestic disputes.
Oh, boy.
In January 2004, Stacy filed assault charges against Paul, saying he slammed a door on her foot. She withdrew the complaint as part of their divorce settlement, though.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what's going on with these two.
Yeah.
The divorce filings included several claims of extreme cruelty against one another, going both directions.
Oh, God.
Paul said he slept in his son's room out of fear for his safety. He said his wife blamed him for her Bell's palsy. She's got Bell's palsy.
Dear Lord.
Which is what Jim Ross has if you're a wrestling fan there. It's your face will droop, and she has jaw problems and migraines.
Mm-hmm.
He also claimed that in the filings that she abused prescription drugs, wouldn't work, and refused to have sex with him for months at a time.
That's one way to get a divorce.
I mean, that's something. He said her verbal abuse included telling him he was a loser and that he would amount to nothing.
Babe, we live in it. You don't work.
Amounted
Look at
to
this
plenty. Well, either way, he's amounted to plenty. He's got 3 companies, good jobs. He's got an in-ground pool and a nice yard. I don't know. It seems pretty good. 2 kids.
You don't work.
Yeah. Even if you did work, we're doing well. Because she was working for a while till the Bell's palsy.
I'm paying for all this shit.
Yeah,
obviously, I'm doing great.
Yeah, we're doing great. But I think when they bought it, she was working, and then she had the Bell's palsy, and that was the problem. Yeah. So, but still, they were making ends meet here. So, he said that she threatened to falsely accuse him of physically abusing her and sexually abusing the children also.
Oh, what the fuck,
She said, I'll tell him you're, molesting the kids. And the strangest thing here, he said that his wife would, quote, claimed she was so ill that she needed to sleep diagonally across the bed with ice packs and earplugs, as well as the plasma television on and the fan.
God, it sounds great.
So, yeah, I have to sleep in another room.
You don't understand. I'm sick, so I need the most comfortable sleep on the planet.
Be diagonally. How tall is she diagonally?
Yeah, right.
And let's try, like, I'm 6'4", so I know about diagonal sleeping.
Yeah.
And you if you're not that tall, you don't need to sleep. You can stretch all out and you're fine. You stretch.
I'll be honest, though. At 5'8" in a diagonal sleep, it is incredible.
Oh, it's great to just because you can roll either way at that point, and it's nice. But if you have a partner, you can't really do that, unfortunately, for her. So she said that he exhibited erratic, threatening, and harassing behavior when they were alone and with their children and in public. So that pretty much all the time.
Yeah.
When we're alone, when we're with the children, or when we're in public. That's all the time. I think that's all of it, right? What doesn't that cover?
Yeah.
She said that he verbally and physically assaulted her over trivial matters.
Okay.
Their divorce, that's the quote from the filings. Their divorce was finalized in January 2005 with them splitting custody of the kids. But there was a big fighting, a lot of fighting over custody, acrimony there. He had them during the week and she got them on the weekends. Which makes no sense because he works during the week, so I don't know how that works, but whatever.
Well, I mean, but they're in school during the week too, so that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So, but they said too he would serve on as chaperone for field trips and all that kind of shit. Like he was a good dad. They all said he spoke about being a pharmacist at the Father's Day presentation as well. Oh, that must have riveted a bunch of 4-year-olds.
Tell me more about
counting pills. Tell me more about counting pills. So how do you charge the insurance company? How do you know what the split is on that for the copay? Like, is there a lot of 4-year-olds asking a lot of... Can't think of a more boring fucking job to explain to 4-year-olds than pharmacist.
How do you identify the group number?
Yeah, it's wow, cool, okay. And then, do you have to staple that paper bag? Is that a rule, or do you guys just all just like to do it? You staple the receipt right to it. That's actually okay. That's a law. Okay.
Do you guys put the staples in the stapler before you guys open or after you guys close?
Wow. Okay.
Is that like an opening thing or a closing gig?
No shit. One of the teachers said he was a very doting dad. Both parents were very involved, and like many divorced parents, they made special efforts to compensate for that. So that's good. That's great. He ends up being friends with a couple of people here. As one of his friends said that he was troubled by everything that was going on, Paul was, and he talked a lot about how it was affecting their kids and all this type of shit. So after the divorce, Stacy doesn't do very well.
No?
Yes, not really. By 2006, Stacy's unemployed and has a lot of health problems from the Bell's palsy and has a lot of financial difficulties because she's unemployed and is sick. So
and divorced.
Yeah, and on the other hand, Paul, he met another lady.
Yeah, he did.
He met a woman named Lori Adamo. He meets her in 2005. They start dating in 2006 and get engaged with plans for a 2007 Cape May wedding.
Right now.
Isn't that nice? So as you could, Stacy's very happy for them, obviously.
Sure.
Yeah, she's thrilled. So they decide, Paul and Lori, his new fiance, decided that she and her son should move into Paul's house in Ramsey as well. Come on in. Yeah, no, you guys, this is going to be great. You guys traipse around the yard. We'll take pictures, and Stacy will be fine. So she's got her ice packs. It's okay.
Mommy's moving in.
Yeah, it's no problem. So this was August 24th, 2006. This was supposed to go on here. This is while they're attempting to sell Lori's house off, okay?
Oh, so they're going to benefit financially from that?
Yeah, they're going to get that too. They're getting a house, and then they already have a house. Sell a house, have a house. So from August 8th to August 23rd, Paul stayed at Lori's house, okay? Mm-hmm. Paul stays at Lori's house. Now, Paul would go to work from Lori's in the morning, stop at his house in Ramsey in the evening that they're going to move into.
Right.
I don't know why they were staying in the house they're selling. That's a weird thing. You'd think he would move out of that house. But he's probably terrified they're going to get robbed by the real estate lady. We stay here till the closing. We stay here till the fucking ink is dry, because if we leave for a second, she's stealing our shit. He's paranoid by now.
How much do you like your TVs? Let's stick around.
Holy shit. So he'd check in the evening, he'd check his email. Yeah. And then he'd also, another thing he had to do while he was there, check his email and feed his parrot, Jimmie.
Get the fuck out of here.
I swear to God, there's a parrot in this story. A parrot. Another parrot. We don't look for murder birds. We really don't. We don't look for these birds. But
they look for us.
Some sort of strange omen, some sort of weird apocryphal up on a mountaintop thing. Every time we stumble down a dark path, there's a bird just going murder, murder. It's always there.
It's called a curse, James.
The curse of the murder birds. We're here. So he's got a parrot, and then he'd go back to Lori's for dinner and to spend the rest of the night. So that's his off work, stop there, check the email, feed the parrot, bap, 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 let it squawk for a while, talk. Because the Ramsey house was unoccupied except for those few hours of the day, sure. Paul left the air conditioner. He didn't have the air conditioning on, and he kept the doors locked. So, so no one can get in. So let's enter Stacy's father into this scenario. Edward Ronald Ates, Ates. Wow. So Edward is, by the way, 5'6", 285 pounds. And
again?
5'6", 285 pounds, and 60-something years old at this point in time. His initial is E, and his last name is Ates. So his name spells eats.
Yeah.
And I'm only bringing this up not to pick on him for being fat, but it will be very relevant later in something he brings up, and it's the whole point of the case. So trust me on this one. Trust me. Okay.
Eats.
So Eats is Stacy's father. Okay. Yes. I'm just calling him Eats from now on. Ates here, as we said, or Eats, as we said. He, Stacy's dad, he was in the Marines. He joined the Marines at 17, served in the military for 16 years.
Jesus.
So he made a career out of it, and then worked in the government for a total of 30 years.
Oh.
So he's been busy. He studied computer science and worked as an airborne radar technician, and also studied Vietnamese for more than a year during the Vietnam War as well. Wow. So he was a Vietnam guy. He's a Vietnam Marine. He got an MBA in 1982. So he comes back, gets his degree. He received several merit awards and in his job, and retired in 1992 as the civilian equivalent of a one-star general.
Awesome.
Yeah, so he spent 40 years in the military, 40-something years in the military, and so he retires doing very well for himself. Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely. These people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked. God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News and World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
Hey, everybody. Just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Sono Bello. You know, the most known secret with celebrities and influencers and all these famous people is so many of them have had lipo. They've had lipo, whether it's a little touch up here or a total makeover. Yeah. Nobody has a perfect body. That's the thing. No. They may look like it on TV, but there's things that help that. Absolutely. Lipo now has changed, and Sono Bello's been at the forefront with using LAL technology and getting those beautiful and natural outcomes for each person. Looking real natural. Our friends at Sono Bello are offering their best deal. You're now included in their winter savings event, but appointments are limited, so please get on this. Sono Bello doctors are masters in micro-laser fat removal, a brilliant technique that removes stubborn fat permanently. Wherever your problem areas are, tummy, love handles, thighs, arms, it's gone in one comfortable visit. Eating healthy and workouts are great. great. Keep doing that, but if you want to lose that stubborn fat in one visit, check out Sono Bello. Save big during their winter savings event. Schedule your free consultation now at sonobello.com/smalltownmurder. That's SONOBELLO.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
And everything's going on there. He got along with Paul very well. They got along while Stacy and Paul were married. The only disagreement they had was they jointly invested money in a golf course.
Uh-oh.
And the investment failed. Paul lost about $20,000 on it, so it wasn't that big of a deal for him.
Yeah.
He didn't really give a shit. But he then needed, in 2003, Eats needed $250,000 to keep this golf course afloat in Okeechobee, Florida. I looked at it, my brain melted. That's what happened. That's what happens when people see my last name, I think. But that's right there, Okeechobee, Florida. There, Pietragallo, Florida. So that's 2003, $250,000. Paul would not give it to him, probably because he was going to divorce Stacy. So that's a lot.
And I put $20,000 into this. I lost too.
Yeah, and a friend of theirs said nobody talked about it for years. The $20,000 wasn't enough money to even be an issue for Paul. Right. Wasn't that big of a deal. At one point, though, Eats and his daughter Stacy tried to transfer $625,000 from Paul's bank account. That's a big chunk of change.
Way more.
That's a lot of money, but it failed.
You're trying to make your investment pay off.
Yeah, the bank called Paul, and he said, "No, don't authorize that transaction. That's crazy." So they said later on that Edward assisted Stacy throughout the entire divorce. Okay. At one point, August 2nd, 2006. So this is at the time when him and Lori are planning on moving in, Paul and Lori and all that. Old Eats sent an email. Saying to Paul, saying, "I have some things going on with Stacy that confuses what I am going to do next. The stress is becoming unbearable." Not to Paul. He sent that to his brother. Okay. So, August 23rd, 2006, around 1:30 p.m. here, Lori and a lady she works with named Helen, they went to Paul's house in Ramsey, so Lori could show Helen where she would soon be living. Okay, that's 95 West Crescent Avenue in Ramsey, by the way, is the address. Once they get there, Helen said, "Man, it's warm in here." The friend said, "Wow, it's warm. Can you turn the air conditioning on?" And Lori said, "Oh, we won't be here long enough to even turn it on. Don't worry about it." So Lori gave Helen a quick tour of the house, included going down in the basement. Lori noticed that a furnace door, which was usually left open for ventilation, was closed. Thought that was weird. She thought that was strange. Then Lori intended to show Helen a unique bathroom in the house, but the door was locked. So that was weird as well. But they just said, whatever, who knows what happened. I don't know why the door's locked, but they end up leaving the house about 2:30 p.m. Okay. While locking the door, leaving, Lori noticed a Burger King wrapper, a Whopper wrapper, in the garbage right outside the door. Okay. Now, she said wasn't hers. Yeah. The kids didn't put it there. Paul didn't eat Whoppers. Where's this Whopper wrapper come from?
Who's eating Whoppers around here?
What's up with the Whoppers? All right.
Yeah.
So about 6:20 p.m., Paul called Lori to tell her he was driving home to feed the parrot, of course. Lori remained on the phone with him as he went in the driveway, got out of the car. He was just talking on the phone with her. They're chatting about their day. Paul notices the Burger King wrapper as he's going in.
He noticed it too.
He noticed, and he said, "Hey, Lori, what's up with that? Were you eating Burger King today?" And she said, "No, I noticed the same thing. I was going to ask you if you were eating Burger King." I wasn't eating Burger King.
How great do they eat?
Nobody's eating Burger King.
How great do rich people eat that a Whopper wrapper
gets everyone's attention? There's a fast food wrapper on our property. What happened?
Who eats this shit?
Yeah, if you find that in our house, Sarah just assumes I must have eaten something terrible. Well, he ate that at 3 a.m. like an idiot. That's fine. We don't have a conference about, did you eat Burger King yesterday? No, did you?
It's unbelievable. What a life to live.
Wow, it's doing great.
You're not going to believe what I saw. A Whopper wrapper. Can you believe it? I saw it too. Both of them saw it and were freaked out.
Talked about it. It's a big fucking source of contention here. So he's also said, oh, that's weird. He said, there's a Whopper wrapper. He said also, oh, you left the air conditioning on. What the hell?
Oh, yeah.
Right? So she was about to say, I didn't turn the air conditioning on. As she's about to say that, she hears Paul shout, no, oh no, and then stop speaking. Then she hears the bird loudly squawk. So, no, oh no, and then a loud thud, and that's it. It disconnects.
You've got to assume the bird
murdered him.
Just stabbed my husband in the face.
The bird, he came in, didn't see it. The bird came from behind something, hit him in the head, and then it was over. Stood over, pumped one into his brain. Yeah. So, no, oh no, loud thud.
Phone dead.
That's
oh my God.
The craziest shit ever. And again, I can't make this up, this bird stuff. I really can't. I wish it wouldn't happen like this. I really do, but it keeps happening. It keeps happening. No, I don't either. I really don't. I want birds to keep happening.
Yeah, that bird has a thirst for blood and Whoppers.
He went out and went through the drive-thru. He's just walking along.
Just flew through the drive-thru, grabbed himself a Whopper.
Dude, we've rejected multiple cases. Not rejected, but I'm like, we can't do that's too many birds. Like, we've had murders where I'm like, no, there's more birds in this fucking murder. Like, we need to stop with the birds and space them out at least. Like, people are going to start thinking it's like a theme show where we just talk about murders where birds are involved. It's getting to that point. Bird murders. Small town bird murders. You know how that goes.
Bird Murders Podcast.
That's it. It's fucking ridiculous. So they're on the phone. Lori then tries to call the house line from her house phone, and no one answered, the house in Ramsey.
Yeah.
So Lori calls 911 from her house phone and tells the operator what happened. And, the line was dead with Paul here.
Yeah.
And she said, quote, this is 911 from the recording. I was just speaking to my boyfriend and he was entering his home. I heard loud screaming and now there's dead air on the other end. So,
yeah. You're going to go investigate it. Bring a bird bigger than a parrot.
I was going to say, bring like some corn or what do birds like? Bring a snack for the bird. Bring one of those gloves that they wear, something.
If you want to catch the car or catch the
some
bird,
bread.
Wash your car and park it in the driveway. It'll shit on it eventually.
So you want a clean car and a loaf of stale bread, and I think you can catch the murderer. Low budget for the homicide department here. So she tells him that. The police arrive at Paul's house. They find the door locked.
Yeah.
They end up, busting through the door to get in, and they find Paul. Here he is, not just sitting there with the bird on his shoulder, reading a book with a pipe in his mouth. He's dead on the floor in a pool of blood.
Oh, boy.
Okay, no evidence of forced entry, so they were confused at first, the cops, because they were like, how the fuck did this happen? There's no forced entry. Doors are locked. Windows are locked. How did this happen? Then they found a set of French doors leading from the master bedroom to the deck were unlocked.
Out back.
So they found that. Yeah, They were like, oh, shit. An autopsy determines that Paul sustained 10 gunshot wounds.
Whoa.
None at close range, all from a .22 caliber. Okay. So 10 22s in you, who knows what they're bouncing
that's
all over your body.
Too.
Yeah, that's a lot. So they looked at the locks in Paul's house as well, and they found that the locks have been aggressively picked recently. Aggressively picked. So jamming... Like maybe someone who's not an expert at this type of thing. Really
paper
trying to use
still in it.
Brute force to fucking just, if I jam this in here hard enough, it'll work.
Break the pins and I can just twist it.
Yeah, so no weapon recovered at the scene. Okay. Detectives find no fingerprints either that aren't Paul's or Lori's. No DNA, no physical evidence.
Clean.
Nothing. Just a clean getaway. It's got to be the bird. It has to be. I mean, the bird obviously opened the door, flew out on the deck, check the woods behind the house. I bet check like the pool filter. I bet the bird put the 22 in there.
Check his claws, because if they were aggressively picked, he's going to have some chipped claws.
Long nails. Yeah. Those things are strong. So none of that. They concluded also that the shooter used a silencer. The bullets came through a silencer. They concluded through the testing. Yeah. So the next door neighbor named Penny McCullough, she said, it's a little bit surreal. I hate to say it. Something selfish is coming up now. Something real selfish is coming up and real, not appropriate for this moment. I hate to say it, but I hope it's someone he knew or was connected to him. If it's a random thing, then it's scary.
Then I'm scared.
I sure hope he pissed someone off, because that means that they won't kill me next.
Hope it was very personal, because I sit outside a lot alone.
Plus, I would say if it's random, you're probably pretty safe. How often are random people going to hit next door neighbors next?
Yeah, I don't know how many.
If you randomly, Richard Ramirez was randomly picking people and murdering them. He never was like, I'll go to the house next door now. You figure everyone's on alert now next door. So 10:30 p.m. that night, detective here went to Stacy's home. When he arrived, he saw a dark blue Ford Explorer in her driveway. Stacy said the Explorer was a loaner she was using while her vehicle was in the shop. The detective told Stacy that Paul was dead, but didn't advise her of how it happened. Just said, hey, I just want to tell you Paul's dead, okay? He then returned later in the evening to obtain a contact number for Eats, for Edward. Stacy gave the cell phone number and also her sister's home phone number as well. So, 4:45 a.m., they reach Evelyn, who is the sister there. They reach Evelyn, and on the next, and they speak to Dottie as well. And Dottie is Eats' new girlfriend.
Oh, he's got a girl.
Eats got a girl here, Dottie.
Okay.
Dottie, I think her name is Dottie Sue, as a matter of fact. She was informed that Dottie told the detective that Eats was in Louisiana with his sick mother, Myra, and there's no way to contact him because he left his cell phone in Florida for some reason. So they made several attempts to reach him by phone, and they couldn't. So August 24th at 6:45 p.m., Eats leaves a voicemail for the detective, providing his mother's telephone number and said, contact me there. So the detective, later on, they talked to him that night, and Eats says that he left Florida the afternoon of August 20th and drove to Louisiana, arriving on August 22nd to visit his mother. He said he couldn't document his trip because he paid in cash, slept in the car, and left his cell phone at home. Like a serial killer.
Yeah, like a guy that is on the run.
Who the fuck does that? Unless you're on the lam. Unless you
vacation like a guy that's wanted.
Unless you intend to marry your 10th grade student and you've fled off into the mountains to eventually end up God knows where. Who fucking lives like that? This is the only people that live like that. Those teachers who have like them and their 17-year-old student ran away together.
And this is in 2006, for Christ's sake.
Come on, man. So they spent a lot of the time doing interviews with everybody, the police, and they said they wouldn't tell the press whether they had any suspects. Yeah. They did say that they heard that they gave rise to some concern, something someone said. Okay, so they want to look into Eats a little more here, old Edward. Sure. So they look into him. In August of 2006, he was living in Port St. Lucie, Florida, with Dottie. They were living in an RV on property owned by Evelyn, who is his daughter, Stacy's sister.
Wild.
That's how you want to live out your golden years. So
sounds like a fucking nightmare.
Jesus, goddamn Christ!
Evelyn. I've worked real hard. I'm gonna shit in a plastic toilet for the rest of my life.
Sounds wonderful. I'm gonna have to worry about where that's going for a long time, because I'm sure they didn't have like all the hookups like you're at an RV park. It was just
it's just into the tank.
You just empty the bucket every once in a while.
Sleep on top of this.
Evelyn lived in the same property, and her house was like a normal house, had a computer and an internet connection and all that, and Eats used to be on the internet in there all the time. Early August 2006, they actually began a trip up north, which he didn't say that, but they figured it out. On August 13th, 2006, while in Wytheville, Virginia, they stopped at Walmart and purchased a track phone cell phone, a burner.
Yeah.
They stopped and got a burner phone and a card that had 120 minutes of service on it. So they got a burner, like they were on the wire. So the phone's activated the next day, August 14th. They showed the first call was made on the 14th to the Pine Hill RV campground in Kutztown, Pennsylvania.
Jesus.
On the same day, Ron Waverly, quotes, air quotes, of Vero Beach, Florida, paid cash to stay at the campground from the 16th to the 18th of August. Now, he is Ron Waverly.
Obviously.
Ron is his middle name, and Waverly is the next town over from his hometown in Louisiana. So he called himself Ron Waverly, which sounds like a bad
name. Yeah.
It sounds like what a congressman would use as their screen name when they're trying to woo underage girls. Yeah. I'm Ron Waverly. So August 14th, 2006, after checking in at the campground, he called an Enterprise rent-a-car in Allentown, Pennsylvania, and later that day rented a Dodge Durango, selecting an option that allowed them to drive to New Jersey, so you could do an out-of-state and all that shit. He returned the Durango to the Allentown Enterprise facility August 15th and requested a car with better gas mileage. The Durango had been driven 500 miles in one day.
Wow.
August 16th, he twice called the Remax office inquiring about the status of Lori's house.
Oh.
Of his ex-son-in-law's fiance's house.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's nothing to do with him.
So the car he got was a Hyundai Sonata, which was driven 1,000 miles by the time it was returned a couple days later on August 18th.
What the fuck?
Now, 2 hours before Paul was killed, one of Paul's neighbors arrived at his parents' house and noticed a blue Ford Explorer parked on the apron of Paul's driveway. As the neighbor turned into his parents' driveway, the Explorer drove away. A blue Ford Explorer. That sound familiar? So the police get a bunch of search warrants, especially for Eats's RV and the home in Florida as well, that he was down there. They seize 6 computers, his .22 caliber handgun.
Oh, what?
Ammunition, and the door locks from French doors in Evelyn's house as well. Forensic tests on the hard drive from the computer retrieved from the home revealed that in 2006, a company in the business of selling lock-picking sets received an order from someone using the computer and sent the kit to a Eats.
Yeah.
Several locks retrieved from Evelyn's house bore evidence that someone had used lockpicks on them. Been practicing. Additional tests on the computer revealed that the Google searches performed
oh boy
included, quote, how to commit the perfect murder.
It's on the internet. Tell me.
How to commit a perfect murder. Okay. Ask fucking wow. Okay. Then that led to several articles discussing mistakes made in murders that got people caught, what not to do. The article recommended the use of an alias and a .22 caliber weapon.
22?
22 because not that loud. Neighbors will go, is that a firecracker?
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons. And they bounce around pretty good. Several other searches yielded results on lockpicking and how to lockpick and how to better lockpick. He also purchased 2 books through Amazon, quote, Workbench Silencers, The Art of Improvised Designs, and if that wasn't enough, more Workbench Silencers. So there's more. Just in case. Second volume here. Bob Vila's next set after those old books they used to sell on TV. So he said that by July, they talked to Eats. He said by July 2006, he had no relationship with Paul and no reason to even dislike him. He said, I wouldn't kill. Why would I kill him? He said that he did learn in August of 2006 that Stacy's condo was in danger of being foreclosed on.
Oh.
And he also said that Stacy was mentally distressed because of her slow recovery from Bell's palsy and because of her concern that she might not be able to live up to her part of the children's vacation while Paul was taking them on a much better vacation. So, according to Eats here, in August of 2006, he and Dottie intended to visit Stacy, but by the time they reached West Virginia, Stacy seemed very happy and was enjoying her time with the kids, so they lied to her and told her they were going to Louisiana to visit his mother instead. Okay. But instead of doing that, they found the campground in Pennsylvania. He said he was feeling guilty about not visiting Stacy, so he rented a car and decided to drive to Stacy's house to see how far away it was, but then he turned around without getting all the way there.
500 miles.
Just, never mind, and turned around.
500 miles on a rental, on a whim.
I've gone 250, but I think it's going to be 300. Never mind, I'll drive 250 back. He said they also drove past Paul's house at that time just to look at it. Yeah. According to Eats, he and Dottie returned the rental car because they wanted a smaller car. He said he and Dottie then traveled to Gettysburg Valley Forge and the Delaware Water Gap, also the Pocono Mountains and around the Catskills as well. Just on a tour, yeah.
A 1,000-mile venture.
That's it. He said when they went back to Florida, he left by himself to go to Louisiana to visit his mother, said he slept in his car, and arrived in Louisiana at 6:30 p.m. August 23rd, 2006, which is like exactly when Paul was being murdered.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said, that's when I got there, right at the same time. So he also said the hard drive stuff is very easily explainable. Let me explain this to you, okay? He said that he said that he had heard of a book about how to commit the perfect murder while watching the news. He said he was watching Fox and Friends one morning, and it piqued his interest. Mm-hmm. He said that he did an internet search regarding how to build a silencer and about lockpicking techniques because the book had discussed how easily obtainable that information was on the internet, and as a concerned parent, he wanted to see if that was true. As a concerned parent of 40-year-olds, I wanted to make sure.
Wait till hears about the anarchist cookbook.
Yeah, I figured I'd order it to see if I could make my own napalm, just to make sure other people can't.
What other people are allowed to read.
Yeah. So he said, also, I was in Louisiana, so I couldn't have been there. I couldn't have done it. So there's multiple reasons why I couldn't have done it. The state police officers, though, they drive a Hyundai Sonata from Ramsey, New Jersey to Sibley, Louisiana, where his mom is, in 21 hours and 34 minutes to demonstrate that's how long it took to get there. Okay, now that's important because we find out that the time he said he was in Louisiana was bullshit. He told his sister to lie about that to the cops. He actually got there the next day at that time.
Oh, shit.
So he had 24 hours between the murder and when he got there, and they're saying the drive takes 21 hours and 30-something minutes. So the police said he thought that when he hit the delete button on his computer, it was gone forever. Nope. Nope.
Oh, God.
This is around the time that BTK thought the same thing, too, right around this exact time.
Even asked the cops, can you guys trace this?
Can you do that?
No, we can't.
No,
okay,
God.
You
do that, you really got us behind the 8 ball there. We're fucked. Paul also had a $1.5 million life insurance policy, but it was unclear who was the beneficiary at the time. During this time this is going on, Eats gets married to Dottie Sue. Might as well get married. October 9th, 2006. You might as well get married.
Yeah.
But June 12th, 2007, Eats is arrested.
Okay.
Yep, he told cops he'd been visiting his mom, but then they later learned that the great-grandmother, instead of being visited because she was sick, she was gambling at the Louisiana Downs. She's betting on the ponies at the time, or the dogs or something.
The hogs.
Yep, and they said that they're also going to charge his sister and his mother with lying as well.
Is that right?
Even mom's going down, 83 years old. They said that for Stacy, she's not been charged, but they said if the mom and sister start cooperating, then there could be additional charges. So, yeah, they said she and the kids were with were there when her mom and dad were arrested. They said I could hear the kids screaming and crying in the background.
In Louisiana?
In New Jersey,
okay,
because he went there. So he's charged with first-degree murder, second-degree burglary, second-degree possession of a weapon for unlawful purpose, third-degree possession of a firearm without a permit, third-degree conspiracy to hinder apprehension, fourth-degree obstructing the administration of the law, and third-degree witness tampering.
That's a lot.
Dottie, his now wife, is also charged with hindering the investigation. She's held on $20,000 bail. Her lawyer said she's a 62-year-old grandmother who's never been in trouble before. And they said, $20,000 bail. Fuck off, Grandma.
20 grand or stay in.
Yep. Eats his mom, Myra. She's also arrested and charged with hindering apprehension and obstruction. They said, and New Jersey wants to extradite her. Their lawyer said they want to extradite an 83-year-old woman.
They're fucking serious.
They're fucking serious. And also Brenda, the sister, she's 51. She's charged with the same shit. The police have wiretaps set up between him and his sister, by the way. There's a big legal battle that we have no time to get into about whether a New Jersey wiretap can intercept shit from Florida, too.
Okay.
But they end up judging that, yes, with cell phones now, it's not a landlocked thing. You can be anywhere.
We can listen to it wherever it goes.
Suppose there's a criminal conspiracy on the phone and they cross the border of the state you're in to another state driving somewhere. Now you got to stop listening now? And how would you know that? So it's ridiculous. So that's a whole big deal here. There's 307 phone calls they took from this shit altogether. So the trial comes up. It lasts 23 days. Wow. Edwards eats his sister, flips on him.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. She pleaded guilty in return for probation and agreed to testify against her brother.
Oh, shit.
She said she initially told the detectives her brother arrived at the house a day earlier than he did because he asked her to lie, and she said on the stand, "I was tired of telling a lie." She said, "It's a hard thing to testify against your brother, but I think it's the right thing to do." Mm-hmm. She said he got there the evening of the 24th, which is 24 hours after the murder, looking tired and as if he'd been traveling. He then told her that his former son-in-law was killed in Ramsey the day before. He said, quote, this is what she said in court. He said, quote, "I want you to lie and tell them I was here on the day before the murder." He was afraid they might blame him for what happened. So also she said she received a call from Dottie, and she told me that if a strange man calls, tell him Ed got there on Tuesday. The strange man's a homicide detective, by the way.
If a guy identifying as police calls...
Not even that. Homicide. Yeah. When homicide's on the phone, it's a different story. It's not, I'm so-and-so. I'm with the homicide department. What the fuck do you want to talk to me for? So his lawyer portrayed Brenda, the sister, as a confused woman who often got details mixed up. So how would she know? He directed jurors to the testimony of a neighbor who said he saw Edward Aitz's car in the front yard of his mother's home the night of the murder. They also said that Brenda's grasp of facts wasn't very good. They said, "Do you get mixed up a lot?" And she said, "No." They said, "Do you get confused a lot?" And she said, "No." And they went, "Okay, well, that's that." Now, what is his defense besides "I was in Louisiana," because that fell apart?
I can't wait to hear it.
His defense is, and this is what his lawyer said, he's too fat to kill him. This man is too fat to have killed that man. That's their defense. Too fat. They brought doctors in to go, he is look at this fat. He had to stop for Burger King on the way there. That's how fat he is. But then they couldn't.
21-hour drive from Jersey to, there's no way this fat fuck could do it.
Oh, they say he couldn't have ran up I'll tell you what his lawyer said. But this man, and not to make, but fuck, dude, if you're so fat that you A, use it as a defense for murder, but B, you need to stop for a burger on the way to murdering someone.
Need a murder snack.
I got to kill this motherfucker, but I'm peckish. I'm just feeling just like, just a grumble. I'm going to stop at the drive. I ate the onion rings on the way. But I'm going to take the Whopper in the house.
I'm going to drive on up to Jersey and commit a murder. Oh, that sounds so close to burger.
Oh,
now I'm
so
hungry.
Close. So they said this is a rare strategy, not used often in a murder case. Mm-hmm. One guy did try it, Richard Cooey. He argued he was too fat to execute. He was an Ohio guy.
I remember
he was
him.
5'7", 267, and he said his obesity made death by lethal injection inhumane because they couldn't find suitable veins, but they ended up executing him.
Yeah, they got him.
This guy said his client's weight, our guy here, Eitz's lawyer, said Eitz's weight has led to asthma, sleep apnea, and diabetes as well. He said, quote, God damn it, you look at Ed and you don't need to hear it from a doctor. He said, look at him, he looks terrible. That's his defense for murder. Look how awful he looks. This guy's a fat fuck. You see how fat this guy is? He's huge. So the other problem, though, from the time of the arrest to the trial, he lost 60 pounds in jail.
Wow.
Because it's just the food sucks. And his lawyer told the media, quote, "It visually impacts it. I'm probably the only person in his life that told him not to lose weight." His lawyer's going, carbs. Just carbs. I'm going to lose. Carbs and don't move. No exercise. According to the lawyer also, the trajectory of the bullet shows that Eitz wasn't physically capable of the shooting. He said that Paul was shot 6 times as he walked down a hallway. He said the shooter first fired from a staircase leading to the basement. That was followed by several shots fired head-on. In order to do that, Eitz would have had to run up the stairs. He said, that's not happening. You don't need to be he literally said, you don't need to be a doctor to see you can't do that. He said it also would have been impossible for him to clean up all the shell casings and flee the house before the police arrived, let alone then drove 21 hours straight to his mother's house. So they asked some defense attorney, who's a big-time defense attorney at the time, he wrote a book called The Trial Lawyer, What It Takes to Win. He said, it's an unusual defense, but it would be a credible defense if the facts really fit in. He said, all defenses sound crazy the first time you use them.
Right.
So they bring a doctor in.
Yeah.
He testifies that running up the stairs would have caused Eitz to become short of breath and make it difficult to keep his wrist straight enough to accurately fire a gun at someone from a distance. He would have been like, God, burping Whopper, fucking. I think he was fueled by Whopper. Yeah, fueled by Whopper and parrot anger. Yeah. So he maintained he went to Louisiana at the time of the murder. So they said, he suffered from all this shit. There's no way he could have done this. The prosecutor said, well, he did research on how to pick locks and ordered a lock picking set and perfect murder and weapons. And he said, but I was in Louisiana and I'm fat. So the prosecution discounts the too fat for murder defense, saying he's a former Marine, highly skilled in the use of weapons. He was in Vietnam. He's very much capable of driving a car or firing a small handgun. Those aren't physical, things.
It's more of a story of overcoming being fat than it is fat being a detriment.
He said, what's his quote later on? He said, it's not like he ran the New York City Marathon. That's what he said. He jumped in a car. So they bring a Dr. Michael Farber, who's going to be a witness to fatness here. Yeah. He is a doctor of internal medicine, just a regular doctor. He said it was highly improbable that Eats could have driven the 21 hours while sitting because he suffered from sleep apnea. So this guy said he was too plagued by chronic illness. They said, could he have driven 24 hours straight? And he said, or 21. And he said, I would say it's highly improbable. They said, well, can you explain his physical state? Yeah. And he said, basically, he is obese, has some form of asthma, elevated blood pressure, and diabetes. They said, does any of that, this is the prosecution, does any of that have anything to do with his ability to fire a weapon? And the doctor said, no. They said, how about driving a car? He said, nope, good there, too. Yeah. So the prosecution argued that this is ridiculous. He called it completely stupid, preposterous. He said that he couldn't do that. They tried to exclude the drive. The defense didn't want the timed drive to be let into evidence. Right. They wouldn't let MapQuest directions with the time be let into evidence, and then they wouldn't they tried to not let the actual drive, but the drive was done by police and it was documented, so they had to let him do it. Eats testifies.
Oh, boy.
He says he often needs a break when driving because he says he's not capable of driving. He said, quote, I can't drive too long. Yeah. Can't drive. He said he also didn't kill Paul. He said, I hardly got to know Paul the whole time they were married. I had no reason to want Paul dead. They said, did you murder Paul? And he said, no, I did not. He said, where were you at August 23rd, 2006 at 6:30 p.m.? He said, at my mother's house.
Right.
Yeah. They check all of his rental stuff. Turns out they had been pulled over driving the Durango. That's when he traded it in. So, yeah, they said, do you remember that? And he said, oh, yeah. They said, hours later you trade the car in because it uses too much gas? And he said, yep, that's why.
Or is it because you had documented it?
Yeah, like, fuck, now they know I'm in this. So the prosecutor in his closing said, quote, he's not running a marathon. I'll agree he probably can't do that. What he can do is execute his son-in-law. Yeah. He said that this isn't the New York City Marathon. He said this investigation turned every page, looked in every corner, all roads inexorably and ultimately led to one and only one, this man, this fat fuck right here. Fat or not.
This Whopper sucker.
Right? The verdict comes in, and the jury finds him. They took less than 2 days, and they find him, first of all, fat. They do find him fat. That is true. But also guilty. Fat and guilty, they find him. You're fat and you're guilty. So during sentencing, Paul's sister-in-law came out, and she said she wanted Eights to receive whatever the maximum sentence is. That's what he deserves. So it is the sentencing, the convictions for felony murder and second-degree possession of a weapon for unlawful purpose were merged into the conviction for first-degree murder. So they're going to sentence him all at once. They said, anything to say for yourself, Tubbs? And he said, number one, I'd love a Whopper. He said, quote, I am innocent. The jury got it wrong.
Okay.
The judge says, really? Well, you, sir, may fuck off. You can, you're going to be out of breath by the time you get there, but you can go. Life sentence.
Oh, shit.
No parole for 63 years and 9 months.
Oh.
63 years and, he's fucked. He's 64 years old at the time. Yeah. 63 years and 9 months. So, he'd be approximately 127, 128 years old. I don't think, judging by his weight, I don't think he's going to make it.
I don't think he's going to make it to 70.
No. Also 10 years concurrent for second-degree burglary and 5 years for the weapons possession without a permit.
Oh, my God.
Also merged all the other shit together and for the witness tampering and all that into a consecutive 5-year prison term. So then it's 73 years. 68 years and 9 months now. So, reactions. The defense attorney said, this is ridiculous.
Of course he did.
He said the prosecutor was in possession of medical experts' reports that said he is too fucking fat. They know that. He said, I think that all of these things should have been shown to the jury, and the prosecutor should not have told the jury in his closing remarks that it was nonsense. Well, that's his case. Is that what your case is nonsense? He said, we have a lot of legal grounds for appeal. It's going to be great. Paul's fiancee, Lori, said, whatever justice could be served was served. I hope that Paul can rest. Mm-hmm. Paul's mother said, my mother had to put her child to rest prematurely at the age of 40. Oh, no, this is the sister talking about the mother. Said that Paul's children will never see their daddy again. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the prosecutor said he took the life of his grandchildren's father, and now he must forfeit his. Now, that's one thing. And then Paul's mother said about Stacy, quote, she's a gold digger and they killed him for the money. They are liars and liars and liars. Fuck yeah. You tell him, Sophia. That's her name, Sophia. You tell him.
Multiple
liars
each
and liars and then more liars. He appeals it mainly about the wiretap, saying that was unconstitutional and all this type of shit. And they said, get the fuck out of here with that. Take a hike. So October 9th, they reject all of his arguments in a 7-0 opinion, the court of New Jersey there. So he's fucked. He's stuck in prison. And on October 9th, 2020, he drops dead in prison.
Is that right?
Eats his dead at 75. Yep.
Much older than I thought.
Yeah, they have said a private cremation will be held.
I'm sure.
So there you go. Now, quickly, don't confuse this with another Ed Ates. There's another Edward Ates who couldn't be more of the opposite of this man.
Is he a real estate
agent? Our guy, short, fat, old, white. This guy, 25, 6'7", muscular, black basketball star.
What?
Yes. Couldn't be more different. He was convicted of murder. He was convicted of murder for slitting a woman's throat and all this shit of a neighbor, but he got exonerated. He didn't do it.
Oh, shit.
So when you look up Edward Ates murder, it comes up a lot of this guy's shit, and it was confusing at first because I was like, wait a second, he didn't do it? He did do it. He searched all that shit, and he left a burger wrapper. What are we talking? This is the Burger King killer. Who else could it be?
How long did it take for him to get exonerated? Was it a while?
A while,
wow.
Yeah. So don't confuse it with that guy. That is Ramsey, New Jersey. And one hell of a crazy story. His initials are Eats.
Yeah.
And he said, come on, man.
And he had a burger before murdering.
He had a burger.
Isn't that so?
And he said, I'm too fat to kill a man. You can't make that up. That's why I said, yeah, we're going to make fun of him, but there's a reason, because he used it as a defense. Anything you use as a defense, I get to pick on. Fuck that. So there you go. If you enjoyed that, keep an eye out, listen to more, and also get on whatever app you're listening on. Give us 5 stars. It helps drive us up the charts. You definitely want to go to shutupandgivememurder.com. August 12th, we're in Chicago. All the shows up till August are all sold out. So get your tickets to Chicago. Yes. Also, D.C., Philly, Charlotte, Atlanta, Dallas. Yes. All the rest are sold out. So get in there, shutupandgivememurder.com. Follow us on social media at Small Town Murder on Instagram, at Murder Small, at Small Town Pod on Facebook. Find us and do all of that shit. It's all the links are all at shutupandgivememurder.com. Patreon.com/crime and sports. $5 a month or above will get you lots of shit, including a shout out at the end of the regular show and bonus episodes, and more bonus episodes. A couple hundred in the back catalog, new ones every other week, including this week, where for crime and sports, we're going to talk about Stairway to Stardom.
Yes.
A public access New York show from the late 70s to the early 90s it's a, quote, talent show, and we're going to play some awful singing and some funny shit, and his head's going to turn red. Frank fucking Massey we're going to talk about. It's going to be amazing. And then for Small Town Murder, it is the prisoner dating game. Don't have to tell you much about that. Four young bachelors, four bachelorettes. They're in prison. Jimmie's going to pick one, and it'll always be the wrong one. We'll tell you that right now. Get in there. That is shut up and get. Oh, that's not our. That's the website. Yeah. Patreon.com/crime and sports will get you all of that. Mm-hmm. Get in there. Do that. Keep coming and seeing us. You want to follow us on social media, very easy. Shutupandgivememurder.com. You go there. There's links to all that shit. You can follow us all over the place and on all the social media and all that crap. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. And remember, if you're going to murder someone, A, make sure they don't have a parrot.
Yeah.
And B, don't stop at Burger King on the way. And if you do, eat before you get there. Don't eat at the murder site. That's not okay. So you'll get caught. That's what happens. Yep. So that said, thank you so much. And until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
It takes one guy out there to say, who's that Kyle who thinks he can just get on a microphone on a podcast and start publicizing this?
From iHeart Podcasts and Tenderfoot TV comes a new true crime podcast, Crook County.
I got recruited into the mob when I was 17 years old.
Meet Kenny, an enforcer for the legendary Chicago outfit.
And that was my mission, to snuff the life out of this guy.
He lived a secret double life as a firefighter-paramedic for the Chicago Fire Department.
I had a wife and I had 2 children. Nobody knew anything.
People are dying. Is he doing this every night?
Torn between 2 worlds.
I'm covering up murders that these cops are doing.
He was a freaking crazy man.
We don't know who he is, really.
He is my father, and I had no idea about any of this until now. Welcome to Crook County. Available now. Listen for free on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.